I naturally have scanty, thin, and dull hair. It's just genetics. No, bro, you don't. The reason your hair looks like a raggedy chihuahua is because you're the one destroying it. It has nothing to do with genetics. But it's not too late to stop the damage. So without wasting any more time, here is a no BS guide about mistakes that are destroying your hair. The reason why some bros have scanty, thin, and dull looking hair isn't even because of genetics. It's because you're trying your best to destroy your hair. But luckily for you, I'm here to tell you the mistakes you are making that are laying damage to your hair. Bro, when was the last time you washed your comb? Your combs and hairbrush can get dirty pretty quickly because they soak up oil, dirt, dust, and hair products. When you use an unclean hairbrush or comb, all that dirt and oil can get back into your hair. So if you want your hairbrush to do its job well without adding unwanted gunk, it is very important to give it a good cleaning every now and then. Brushing incorrectly. I have legit seen bros take a comb and brush their hair however the wind blows. I don't know if their scalp is numb because I have no idea how that doesn't get hurt. Brushing your hair the right way stimulates your scalp, which promotes healthy growth, and it removes any loose hairs, keeping the overall look smooth and clean. I'd advise that you brush your hair in sections, starting a few inches from the ends and working your way up. If your hair gets caught, remove the brush and start again. Detangle each section and then finally brush all of your hair at once. But if even that's too much work, at least brush your hair from the ends first and work your way down to the root. Washing your hair. I remember a friend of mine complaining about having hair loss, and he was talking about going to get that checked at the hospital. I asked what products he uses on his hair, and he said he just washes it. So I asked what shampoo. This dude looked me right in the eye and said he uses the same soap he uses to shower to wash his hair. Needless to say, we found out how he was destroying his hair. So please do not use the same soap you use to wash your body to wash your hair. And this also applies to those 2-in-1 shampoos. Don't use that BS either. Sleeping with wet hair. Nearly everyone is guilty of this, myself included. There are times when you take a shower once you get home, and when you're done, you hit the sack. However, that is a very bad idea. Hair is particularly sensitive when wet, so it needs to be treated very delicately, like your PS5. It's much better to allow the hair to dry about 30% naturally before sleeping and even brushing too. Brushing wet hair. Wet hair makes it more delicate and more likely to break. So you need to be gentle when brushing and to use a wide-toothed comb instead of using a brush. Start at the ends and work your way up. Try your best not to drag or pull at your hair while brushing it. Too much heat. If you're always using a blow dryer to dry your hair in the morning after you shower, you need to stop. Ideally, heat exposure should be kept to a minimum. But because our hair usually requires some form of styling, there's no way you can totally avoid not using heat. If you are someone who regularly uses heat though, you need to cut that down. It's advisable to loosely rough dry your hair to around 70% before you start to blow dry with a brush. Drying off your hair with a towel. This one is something I learned from my ex. When you use your towel to vigorously dry your hair, what you're doing is damaging the cuticles, and this can cause your hair to become frizzy and dry. What you can do to stop this is to just air dry it. But if you don't have the time or patience for that, you can get a microfiber towel. Before I got a microfiber towel, what I did was that I used my old t-shirt to wrap around my head for about 20 to 30 minutes. Overstyling. I know in my previous video on haircuts, I talked about styling your hair, but that doesn't mean you should go overboard with it. Overstyling can put a lot of stress on your hair and cause breakage. I would advise you to either go for loosely tied hairstyles or low-maintenance styles as much as possible, especially if you're experiencing hair damage, since this could be the reason. Changing your pillowcase. Apart from the obvious thing that is to regularly change your pillowcase to a clean one, another thing you need to do is change it entirely. There's a reason your girl uses a satin pillowcase when she sleeps. It's because materials like silk and satin create less friction on the hair, which reduces chances of your hair getting tangled or breaking, whereas materials like cotton are absorbent, which means they absorb all the natural oils your skin and hair need to stay healthy and moisturized. Silk or satin, however, will leave your natural oils where they should be, on your skin and hair. Stress. Unfortunately, bro, stress is a part of life. It's something we can't run away from. The only thing we can do is try to manage it. When it comes to hair growth, stress can do a number of damages to it, especially if you're stressing out about why your hair keeps getting damaged. Here's my advice. Either take a walk in nature or meditate. I personally find it relaxing to meditate. Just find a comfortable place to sit, focus on your breath, and watch your thoughts for at least 15 minutes. Once you can sit there for 15 minutes, you can count that as a win.